Hey guys, I'm Erin with F the Office, and today I'm going to tell you about how to manage your time using your calendar. This is a special video coming at you just for my VAs. Where my virtual assistants at? Raise your hand. I myself am a VA, and I know how hectic our schedules can be when you've got multiple clients, multiple personal things that you want to do. Often it clashes, and more often than not, your calendar ends up moving and shaking and you can't make sense of it. I'm here to tell you that using your calendar as a task management system is a great way to hold yourself accountable, set boundaries with your clients, manage multiple clients' to-dos, and disconnect at the end of the day, because let's be honest, it is crucial for us to disconnect and get a little downtime at the end of your day. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a couple simple steps. Step number one, set your schedule up the night before. Don't try to do it day of, and don't try to set your calendar up for the entire week. As VAs, you more likely than not know that calendars can sometimes change quickly because clients' priorities change quickly, and that's okay. So set up your calendar the night before and give yourself that flexibility to allow for those changes from day to day. Number two, create reasonable to-do lists. Now, most people overestimate how much they can get done in the day, myself included. Hey, we're all optimists, what can I say? But to be honest, we can't probably get to the 20 or 30 things that would be on our written to-do list. So instead, by using your calendar, you can only physically fit 4, 5, maybe high priority items on your calendar. So this is a nice way to kind of break down your schedule, your projects. It gives you a super realistic look at what you can get done from day to day. So again, number two, use it as a way to put reasonable to-dos, a reasonably long task list on your calendar. Number three, actually look at the calendar. Once you've got items in your calendar, like you have a couple to-dos for the day, make sure you actually look at it. And this is something that I actually struggled with. I would schedule things on my calendar and then think, I know exactly what I scheduled. Obviously, I remember it from the night before. Well, newsflash, I didn't remember it and my whole day was derailed. So actually look at the calendar daily, keep it up, keep it running on a separate tab if you have to, and just reference it throughout the day. Number four, and this is a huge one, set priorities. It's very easy to say you have a couple priorities in life and not ever put them on the calendar. What does that say about your priorities? Maybe you're not that serious about actually doing them. So using your calendar as a to-do list is a great way to make sure that you are getting to your priorities. And these don't all have to be work related, which is such a beautiful thing. I said for months that priority was getting into shape, and yet exercise never made it onto my calendar ever. And it was no surprise that I never exercised. But by simply putting my priorities on my calendar list, it forces me to actually do the things that I say I want to do. And believe you me, it is life-changing. Number five, set deadlines. Now, your clients might give you open-ended to-dos, or you yourself might have your own open to-do. This could be an open item like handle taxes or catch up on invoicing. It seems doable, sure, but if you don't have a deadline, I guarantee that that item will haunt your calendar like a ghost. It will never get done, and you'll constantly be putting do taxes or do my invoicing, and you'll just end up moving it day by day. So it's very crucial that once you have some priorities, once you know the things that you need to be working on for day to day, you give those items a deadline. Number six, this is one of my favorite because it has a lot to do with setting boundaries with clients, is use a strategy called time boxing. Now, raise your hand if you multitask with multiple clients. Yeah, I'm guilty of this too. And what ended up happening was I basically spun my wheels on a lot of different projects for a lot of different people and didn't get a lot done. But using time boxing, which is a method in which you assign certain periods of time to certain clients, is a great way to monotask, to focus on one client or one project or a series of tasks that a client has given you for a set amount of time. Now, this not only helps you become more productive and effective in your work, but it helps you set boundaries for your clients. And if you're able to clearly communicate those boundaries to your clients everybody across the board is going to be happier. And you can think of it this way. I don't know if you've ever had a client email you after hours or on the weekend, and maybe you thought, well, it's a short project, I can get to it real quick and it'll make my life on Monday easier. Well, that's a great way to set up a lot of miscommunication to your clients, because they might think that that's the new president. They might expect you to be on call always for all future weekends, and maybe that's not the case, or that wasn't your intention. So setting specific times that you work for your clients, maybe it's you check, client A's work at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. However you want to set it up is a nice way to communicate to them that you are online for them during certain hours and you are offline but will get to their work again. Oh, and if you're wondering how long you should actually time block or time box for a client, here's a good rule of thumb. Estimate how long a task would usually take you. So if you are a virtual assistant who assists with blog writing or ghostwriting, copywriting, any of the writing, you get the point. If it usually takes you 2 hours to write a blog post from start to finish, multiply that by 1.5. So I've already done the math for you, you're welcome. What that comes out to is 3 hours. So even though you think it'll take you 2 hours to do their task, put a 3-hour block on your calendar to work on that blog writing. And that's because if you run into an emergency situation that you have to address, or it's taken you a little bit longer than you anticipated, having that kind of buffer time, those incidentals, is very, very helpful because it won't derail the rest of your day. Now that we have the how-tos out of the way, I've got a couple bonuses for you, and you trust me, you deserve a bonus for sticking with me this long to the end of the video. So, bonus tip for you, maintain some sense of flexibility. The great thing about calendaring is that it's so individual to you, and that's what I love about using calendars as a time management tool. Now, I often find other time management tools are a little too rigid or don't allow me to be super flexible. And how could they? They don't know my personality. They can't please everyone. They're not coffee. So what I'm saying is maintain some flexibility. If you find that your day is changing or a task took you a little longer than you thought and you can't get to your next item on your list, don't delete it, but just move it. And you'll find that giving yourself that flexibility to still get all of your work done, but rearrange things as needed is an amazing way to boost your productivity. Bonus tip number 2, at the end of your first week of doing this, take some time to look back at your calendar and reassess how you did. This is a great way to see if there were blocks of times that maybe you ended up moving a lot. This is a great way to see if you actually put your priorities on your calendar. And that can include things like working out or additional time with your kids after dinner. And if those priorities were not on your calendar, ask yourself why and figure out how you can instead include them on your week moving forward. My last tip is perhaps most essential. This is a marathon. This is not a race. So just like marathon runners, they did not get off the couch and run 26 miles in one day. They trained, and they trained hard. So don't expect yourself to adopt this new system and be magically effective right overnight. It takes dedication, it takes time, and it takes a working commitment from you. So do try to do this every night. Do try to calendar things every night before you go to bed and include your priorities, your personal hobbies, your work commitments. Give it your all, and if you miss a day or you forget to calendar something for a couple days, or maybe you forget to check the calendar, ease up on yourself, man. Drop that guilt. It is okay. It is a marathon, and the most important thing is that you pick it back up and you keep going. I really hope you enjoyed these tips today. Again, I'm Erin with F the Office, and if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I'll be back with more great videos like this, and I'll catch you on the next one.